Another tool in SketchUp to create a landform is the Toposhaper plugin. Toposhaper is similar to the sandbox tool where we create a mesh from contour files. However, it's going to create a square mesh by default. If you remember, the sandbox tool used contours to create this triangulated mesh very tightly by default. Toposhaper is going to be a lot more smoother in its landform creation, and it should not need as much cleaning up as was with the Create from Contours tool. We will still need to turn on contours, so I'll turn on that contour layer, and we will go ahead and double-click in that group or that base again to create a group. Once I have that group created, I want to take these contours, so I triple-click on each contour. And there's one more here. I'll hold Shift down to select them all. I will Control X, cut those, select my group, double-click my group, edit, paste in place. And the same thing that I've done with the Create from Contours tool, I'm going to select all, deselect the face of the base selection, and go ahead and just click the Toposhaper once. This will create one of the most confusing dialogues that I've ever seen in a tool. However, I'm going to go ahead and move these tools out of the way so we can see what's going on here. In fact, I'm just going to go and close these. I'll turn those on a little bit later. We actually don't need these for here. I'm going to go and click on Calculate Terrain. This goes through, determines the information. You can see a preview of this. You can also see the plan view preview. The thing that I recommend to do on meshes that we're going to manipulate, although this one we're not going to manipulate, we can increase this grid size. All you have to do is increase the one size. You don't have to increase both. I'll go ahead and double it, although I think 50 was probably adequate for the assignment. I'll hit done. I'll go and create a tighter mesh. And once that, you can see a preview of this, I'll go ahead and hit Generate Terrain. When I generate the terrain, it's actually running, but it's done. On my screen here, you don't see. I'll click on, let me slide this over. I'm going to go ahead and click on Exit the tool. This will now, what we have here is a group of that landform, similar to what we had with Create from Contours. Click on the group, double click, you can see that I have a group within a group, and then I have my mesh. Of course, I don't want a group within a group, so I'm going to click back on the outside, click the group once, double click, click on it once again, right click, and then explode. I do not need a group within a group. But I also can turn off I can go ahead and turn off those contours. I don't need to see those. And you can see what's been created is a very smooth, relatively smooth. I see my artifacts here on the edges here. There's some settings I can adjust on there. But I have a very smooth landform compared to what I had with the built-in sandbox tools. It's a very smooth landform that can also, that has a lot less polygons for the model. You're also going to want to create a color on here that's not this default yellow color. So I'm going to go ahead and choose a material, break inside my group, and apply another color to it. I'm just using white right now, so they're all the landforms will be monochromatic.